All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to do our post free agency rankings for the AFC West. This is going to be a very good division next year. I think, some of the teams that, well, 3 of the 4 teams made the playoffs, but I do think the Raiders even improved. Now, I don't think they're going to compete for the division. I think they still got a little bit to go before they are, really competitive in this division, but they're going to be a better team. They're going to win more than 4 games next year. I do believe that because they're going to have better coaching. I think the quarterback position's improved, whether you believe in Geno Smith or not. I do think Geno Smith is an upgrade compared to what they had last year. I think we can all agree on that. And we still got the draft. But having said all that, the Raiders will be number 4 in my rankings here. So they traded for Geno Smith. They signed Jeremy Chin, Lonnie Johnson Jr., a couple of safeties for the secondary. They signed Landon Roberts, linebacker. They signed Eric Stokes from the Packers, a corner. They signed Raheem Mostert. Running game was not great last year. I expect them to take Ashton Genty. I've been saying that constantly. They brought in Devin White, Darnay Holmes. Not a ton of splash moves, but other than, I guess, Geno Smith. But you know what? With Pete Carroll at the helm, this team is going to be a lot more competitive, in my opinion. Like I said, I expect them to win more than 4 games next year. But I think they're still going to be a last-place team, in my opinion. I like the other teams in the division better. So we move on, and second and third. At number 3, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I actually am going to put them at number 3. I do like the signings that they made. Some of them. I like the Mekhi Becton signing, adding him to the interior of the offensive line. He played well last year on the Eagles' O-line. They brought in Najee Harris, and I think maybe running behind that offensive line, I think you might see a better version of Najee Harris next year. They brought back Mike Williams to add to that receiving core. I expect the Chargers to maybe make a move at receiver during the draft, unless maybe they sign Keenan Allen. I'm still campaigning for that. I want to see Keenan Allen go back. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Ladd McConkey, I'll take it. Because Keenan Allen could still play. I mean, if you bring back Mike Williams, bring back Keenan Allen. But maybe they're waiting until after the draft. They did sign Jalen Reagor as well. But, that's kind of a depth signing. Tyler Conklin they brought in. They re-signed Khalil Mack. They actually brought in Trey Lance to back up Justin Herbert. Actually, no, they also brought back Taylor Heineke as well. Tony Jefferson, Dante Jackson, a couple of defensive backs they signed. So, I still think the Chargers need to make some upgrades. I think you're going to see them, draft a receiver maybe in this draft, maybe a running back. Secondary, you could see maybe they draft someone on the defensive line. They did lose Joey Bosa, so you could see that maybe. But look, the Chargers are going to be a good team next year. They in the first year of the rebuild, they won 10 games. Obviously, the playoff game did not go how they hoped it would, but that's okay. You know what? It's year 1, and Jim Harbaugh, he's got his fingerprints all over this team. They're going to be better next year. I do have the Broncos at 2. I think the Broncos are going to be really good once again. I loved the moves they made. They signed a couple of 49ers players to add to the defense that was already good last year. They signed Evan Ingram, a target that is really going to help Bo Nix. And if Bo Nix takes a big step forward next year, they're going to be even better. I think there's only more to grow. It's only up from here. And Bo Nix surprised me a little bit last year because I didn't really know what to expect. But with Sean Payton getting his guy, that he played really well. The playoff game got off to a fast start, and then, obviously the Bills then took over, but I like the direction this team is going in. And, I think with now Ufanga and Dre Greenlaw, guys that were both coming back from injuries last year, they're both healthy. I mean, they are really going to make a difference on this defense. With the pass rushers that they have, the secondary, this is going to be a good team. Now, I think Broncos are another team that I think I definitely see them taking a running back in the draft. They kind of need to figure out their running back position. So I could see them taking a running back. Maybe another receiver. We'll see. But I got them at 2. And then at number 1, I still have the Chiefs. Now, there's talk about maybe the Chiefs not even making the playoffs next year, which I think is ridiculous. We've had that conversation. Well, not we, but the media has had that conversation in years past, and then they went on and won the Super Bowl. Like the year after they traded Tyreek Hill, they won the Super Bowl. Well, the year they traded Tyreek Hill, they won the Super Bowl. That's what I meant to say. I think they'll make the playoffs. Do I think, that they're going to be the favorites to get out of the AFC? Well, I mean, I guess so, but I'm not going to pick them to get back to the Super Bowl next year. I'm not. This is the year that they kind of take a year off. Now, could they make it back to the AFC Championship game? Yeah, I mean, that's not almost. That is a guarantee since Mahomes started being quarterback. But they did lose some guys. I mean, they traded away Joe Thuney. And the offensive line does need some work. They did address it. They signed Jalen Moore, backup tackle, to Trent Williams. They signed Gardner Minshew to be the backup. They brought back Kareem Hunt. They brought back Juju Smith-Schuster. They brought back Marquise Brown. A lot of the moves that they made, was bring back guys in-house. Nick Bolton, Charles Omenihu. So, yeah, a lot of people are down on the Chiefs. But, look, they got Andy Reid. They got Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones. You could say they still have Travis Kelce, even though he's obviously on the older side. But they're still the Chiefs, and you still got to give them that respect. Now, could they get knocked off this year? Could a team surpass them in the division? Sure. But I got to see it to believe it. Now, I saw in the Super Bowl, they just got outclassed in every way against the Eagles. And we've seen them get outclassed in the Super Bowl before, so now it's happened twice. We've seen them lose in an AFC Championship game. But now we got to see them lose in a playoff game earlier than the AFC Championship game. We got to see them get knocked off by another team in their division. The other teams in their division are getting better. So yeah, the gap has definitely been narrowed, but they're still the Chiefs. So I still have them at number 1. So I got the Raiders at 4, the Chargers at 3, the Broncos at 2, and the Chiefs at 1. Let me know what you guys think about those rankings. How would you rank the AFC West? So that brings us to the end of the post-free agency power rankings. So now the draft, we'll see how these teams go about it and how they continue to build up their teams for next season. But yeah, that basically brings us to the end of the show today. So I know I did drop a huge bombshell on you guys about next week being my last week with GSMC. But yeah, look, we're going to make the most of it. It's been a lot of fun. And, just make sure to tune in and, comment. We can have a discussion throughout the week. Obviously, next week is big because it's the draft. So we're going to go out with a bang. We're going to obviously be able to react to what, the Giants did the following day. That will be on the last show. It's going to be a fun week. So, but yeah, next week, as a reminder, that will be my last show. And of course, as we get to the end here, my camera decides to glitch out on me. And it would not be a show without the camera turning off. So, look, I appreciate you guys' support. Again, next week will be the last week of the show. All right, we got it back up. So make sure to tune in as much as you can. And if you miss out, look, the segments will be up. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. So it's very easy to consume the show even if you're not in during the live portion. But make sure to check out all the other shows on the network. Give the other shows support. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channels wherever you get your podcasts. Like I said, you can listen to us on the go. And so enjoy the playoff NBA action this weekend. We also have the Stanley Cup playoffs starting tonight. We got a couple of games. Also, shout out to Sam Rosen, the play-by-play man for the Rangers. He concluded his final game doing play-by-play for the Rangers last night. Knew him from doing NFL on Fox. So his announcing career is over. But congratulations to him on a long career as the man for the Rangers. The Rangers, unfortunately, had a disappointing season, and he wasn't able to call any playoff games this year. They missed out, which, I mean, even as, not a big fan of hockey, I was surprised. I mean, I thought the Rangers were guaranteed to make the playoffs, but they did not. But, yeah, we have 3 games tonight, 3 game ones. We got the Devils and the Hurricanes, the Senators and the Maple Leafs, and the Minnesota Wild taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. That's tonight. So, got play-in action. Oh, wait, actually, no. That's Sunday. What am I saying? No, but there are games tonight. Are there games tonight? Yeah, that's on Sunday. I was still on the Sunday tab. Okay, so no, there are no games tonight. Tomorrow. No. Yes, tomorrow. You got the St. Louis Blues against the Winnipeg Jets. You got the Avalanche against the Dallas Stars. That's tomorrow. Then Sunday is all the games I just listed. I apologize for that. So 2 games tomorrow, 3 on Sunday. Also, if you celebrate Easter, happy Easter. Yeah, so that is it for the show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I went through everything. Support the other shows. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to us there. So until next time, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day. Enjoy the weekend. And we will talk on Monday. Take care.